Hi everyone, well, welcome to our next session. Let's take a seat, let's get on with it. Excellent, alright, move the legs around. Now today's session is going to be a little bit different. Give me 2 seconds, let me find a spot where I can actually see that. Let's put it over there. Ta-da! Alright, so I can actually read that. Beautiful, alright. Today's session is going to be a little bit different. So, it's a super cold, rainy Friday. You probably see a little bit of rain on the roof there, and it's we're super quiet over here. So Amy's with her family. Cross that leg. Let's get into a poop stage. Amy's with her family and grandparents. So I think everyone's getting there. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Is it whooping cough? Whooping cough? Basically the immunisation you need before you spend some time around babies. My parents and my sisters had theirs, Amy and I've had ours, but for Amy's family, if they don't get theirs, then the suggestion is to not spend time around any newborns, which I believe. So they got ahead doing that today, and they've taken it easy a little loose, and I'm home by myself, which we all know what that means. I get to have as many coffees as I want. Fantastic. I haven't actually had one yet. I've actually been making the dog food, so we make a nice big batch of dog food for them that generally lasts about a month and a bit. Just good foot stretch. But yes, after this video, I've got some phone calls to make, and let's be totally honest, in between the phone calls, I'm going to get the espresso percolator on there and have myself a nice coffee. It's got to be some fun on cold days like this. Ooh, it is chilly. I think I'm already at like 4 or 5 cups of tea, so definitely hit my quota for that. Good quads, switch it over. But yes, the different type of session. So you can probably see the band is just hiding just behind me, up over somewhere back there. So we're going to do a partial band session, and then I'm actually going to implement some new stretching, just some different stuff. So obviously we do a little bit of light stretching, part of our warm up and cool down. But we're going to see if we can just link it on and just see if we can stretch some other things, explore different parts of our body that we may know is a little bit tight, and put it part of our session. Good hamstring work. And I have finally got in contact with Darren, and we can officially say that the chair exercise group, there won't be any training till the new year. So, bit disappointing, but Darren worked hard to try to see if he could find a different centre for us. Just no luck, and I'll stop work as of late December and not return back to February. So that would be when I get to see everyone face to face. I'm not too sure whether I will get the tick of approval to continue to run all these videos over that period of time. So we'll see. Again, if you find value in it, you just let them know. We'll see. But good news in that early February, I should be able to see everyone. It looks like it'll be at the other centre that we were speaking about, the Kurrajang, I think. They're one of their centres over there. I can find out the details later. I'm sure Darren will send everyone's details out as well there. Good hamstring stretch, calf stretch. So on that path there, it's just, next time I see everyone face to face, I can tell everyone some really cool news, and show them. I'm sure everyone's going to want to see little photos. I'm sure we could get some photos printed and all the other little fun stuff, and him doing his thing, and it's fun. I'm sure everyone's going to do the whole plane. Does he look like more like me or more like Amy? And the truth is, we want him looking much more like Amy. Much more Amy's temperament. The only thing we want from me is my skin. I got good skin. Amy's white, switch over legs. She's white, pale, with freckles, and can't get burnt. Otherwise she just roasts, where at least I can tolerate some sun. So we're going to see how we go. We'll see how we go. But everything else Amy plays, she's got the excellent temperament. Yeah, she's fantastic for that. Alright, tabletop, loosen up the hips, give it all a good shake out. Sorry for a little bit of sniffles, it is utterly cold at the moment. I've spent the last sort of hour either cooking or standing up doing a bit of work there, so my fingers and toes, everything's a bit cold. So this is perfect, we get the body moving, shake it all out. Lovely! Alright, if you need a drink, grab yourself a drink, mine's up over here. And then yes, today's session, band work. Okay, fantastic. So I've got my trusty blue band to begin the session off with. Good. We'll wind the blue band up, switch over the other side, wind it up there. Depression, retraction, pull apart for me, please, to begin with. So if you had the dumbbells, you could easily just grab hold of the dumbbells and pull apart. You'd find that actually quite difficult. It's much easier with the band, simply because the band doesn't weigh anything. It's pulling your arm down. You can work on pulling it out to the side. If you didn't have anything there, you probably remember the different variations that we speak about, just going on different angles there. But for those in the band, like myself and yourself, good, we work with the band. Good, just get some back, so I've got a bit more room, beautiful. Go for the pull apart. Excellent, get it all moving nicely. And Amy, I was saying there that, we finally get this sunroom all done and all we've had is rainy weather the last couple of days. So we're hoping we can start to enjoy it a bit more. We've got a little bit of a setup, you guys can't see it because I'm taking it from a different angle, but we've got a chair and one of Norman's tables and a couple of pots and some plants that are growing in here. So we've got a couple of things, just slowly, we sort some stuff out. Good. Now, above the head, pull apart, down nice and low. So we're going to spend a little bit of time with these movement patterns there. There's probably about a good 10 to 12 movements I generally teach with these bands. Sort of covers everything quite nicely. So we're going to slowly churn through those ones. But impatience that's the plants I can see the most of there. Then we've got some beans growing, which is good. And then Amy found all those little, it was Coles or Woolworths where they were giving out those little seedlings and stuff, and she had a whole big box full of them there, so we're starting to grow some of those. Why not? Hey, what a good way of being able to teach how all the plants work and grow. 2, 1, excellent. Good. If you've got a chance, spin it around your back. If you don't have the band, you use the dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, just your hand. And we'll wind it up around your back and throw some punches. Good. So just seeing where it's sitting, around my back, my arms sit over the top of it, and then I'll throw my punches, and away we go. And yeah, we're thinking about whether we can put maybe some wood up along here and then hang some other plants off the top of it. It'll get there slowly. Little bit by little bit. I feel like the more that we sort of do and set it up properly now, the better it'll be. We're going to need stuff that can sort of tolerate some heat, because it's going to get hot in here, and if we have it like 2 days and we don't give it any water, everything's just going to sizzle. So yes, things that can just tolerate a little bit of heat and be okay if it's a bit dry, so we'll work with it. The impatient plants that are in here now definitely are not the right pick. They tend to need a bit more water. They actually do better in the side alley area there, but it's all part of the fun. You just got to play with stuff. Alright, see if we can now rotate it to the side. Keep throwing the punches. Rotate them to the side. And then we've always got heaps of different indoor plants. There's one just sitting on the step here that will slowly start to make its way into different spots, just because they tend to work pretty good. And yeah, we just we need a better system with the you get the little dish underneath it. Some of the plants have dishes, some of them don't. The ones that don't have dishes, you always take up and bring it to the sink and water it, or bring it outside, and yeah, that's all good. But sometimes we go weeks without watering them, and you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, sorry about that. 2, 1, start punching up higher. Good. Right, shoulders, everything's going to start getting a little fatigued. But that's a-okay. We can work with it. We don't mind getting everything moving. Whew, yeah. Punch them out. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no problem at all. Good. Just give a bit of shoulder rotation. You may notice your shoulders just feel a little bit tight. Good to just get that moving around. Oh yeah. Lovely. Underneath our legs. Good. You can wrap it up. And basically you work the muscle groups. So it's up to you. You can either tie a knot into it. Some people just tie a knot. Or cross it up there and just put your hands on top of it. And we're going to go pull it apart there. So we're trying to drive it apart with our legs. We're actually working our glute med, so the muscle groups on either side of our pelvis are having to work hard to pull that band apart. Now if you have it too easy, there's really nothing. This isn't really doing anything. But if I make it much tighter, hold on to it there, this is starting to make it a little bit tougher for me to pull my legs apart. And that's what we want to do. We want to be in a position where it's just a little harder, just to pull everything apart. Yeah, there we go. Whew. Really burns the legs quite quickly too. It's a great thing about bands, they just offer something a little bit different that the dumbbells don't. Gives us chances of just getting a little bit more other things in there. Oh my God, am I so excited for a hot drink after this. It's the simple things in life. I even went out and bought like a nice big 3 litres of milk too. Oh yes, maybe 2 coffees. But we won't tell Amy, please. We will not tell Amy. Not that she doesn't allow me to drink coffee, she's just well aware that that if I'm drinking like 2 or 3 cups in the afternoon, that is most likely because I haven't been sleeping enough there, so it's better sleep routine. That's what we need to do. 3, 2, 1 more. Oh yeah, so you're probably going to notice that those glutes are starting to burn up a little bit. Hey, awesome stuff. Around your legs, if you have the dumbbells, you can definitely do the gorilla row, which is leaning forward on one after each other. If you didn't have dumbbells, you can definitely go through your rowing exercise, so that's a good variation. Otherwise, if you've got the band, we're working on our vertical row, pulling back in this upright position. I'll just show it laterally, because everyone sees it very differently. Find my little spot. Pulling it in, strong pulling. Leaning just slightly forward and then create that good drive back. There we go. Good, you can always wind that band up a little bit more, just get a little bit more resistance. Nothing wrong with making it just that little bit harder with some more resistance. Good work, team. Staying with it. Strong drive back. We're getting it done. 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Yeah, switch over legs. Go for it. Lean forward. Strong drive back. Oh yeah, all about squeezing those back muscle groups. It's good to get them all moving. They just feel good. Nice just to get all the shoulders, everything working together as a team. Just executing this movement. Good. As a general tip, keeping your head nice and straight in nice order. Actually pulling your chin back a little bit even helps. You may feel really silly doing that, but it's actually probably a better shoulder position and neck position. So you're told by a whole lot of physios. I feel a bit more stable doing it, if I'm totally honest, versus when we tend to be just a little bit floppy forward. So just this chest up, chin back position. 2, 1 more. Yes. Good. We're going to do a slight little bent over reverse fly. So we put it underneath our legs. Good. Good. Lean over the top and just pulling it out and away. Now everyone's a little bit different. Sometimes I use the chair. Yeah, the chair's probably even better than using the back of my legs. If you've got shorts on, it just pulls at the hairs. Not so excited, but here, sitting on the chair position. There we go. And all I'm trying to do is pull that back out and away from my body. Just trying to pull it out back. Very similar to a dumbbell reverse fly. Very similar, we're just using the band as a resistance. Good fun. Alright, one up. Awesome. Oh yeah, it's a little bit tough. That's okay, just try to pull the band away. Get all those upper back muscle groups, just trying to squeeze them all together. Working hard. 3, 2, 1 more. Yeah, awesome. Good. You can double up the band on either side and apply some downward phase on your legs, and then you can create your calf raise against that. You're just trying to make it harder to do your calf raise. Very similar to when we lean forward and push down on our legs. They create it. Same feeling. Putting some downward pressure and then having to push up against it. Good. Now if you want to make it a teeny bit harder, you can definitely do that on one leg, right? You may find when you use 2 legs, you're just really strong on your legs. But doing it on 1 leg, you can make that a lot harder. It's a simple adjustment. It makes it much trickier to execute the calf raise. Whew. The burn be real. 2, 1. Switch over sides. Try the other side. Good. I'm a bit strong on my left calf. Yeah, I can just tell that that's so much stronger than my right one. But that's okay. We keep playing with it. Good. Excellent. Stay with 15 seconds. 10 to come. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. That really burns the calves up quite a fair bit there. All good fun. The lucky last one was pull back over the top of our head. So, wind the band up. Above your head, pull it back behind. The idea here is we get to use some of our upper back muscle groups. So what I want to try to avoid is my shoulders being up really high. Just want to relax and pull them down. Head nice and neutral, pull it away, let it hit the upper part of my back. Just take my time, let it hit. We just go through that motion, taking our time doing everything. Yeah. Good. It's great when you get these upper back muscle groups having to work. They appreciate it, they like it. It's all part of the fun. Good. Let's have a quick check of the time. 20 seconds. We're doing great. Then we get ourselves a rest period. And we're going to go through a little bit of this extra stretching. Just some different stuff, starting from the top, working a little bit lower. Excellent. Bringing it home. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. You may notice when you just finish that you can feel this extra tension through your upper back area here, so up through here, and that's really normal because that depression, retraction, and having to pull apart, you're actually squeezing that mid part of your back to execute that movement. The tension should all be in those upper back muscle groups. Excellent. Grab yourself some water, and I can give you actually a quick little tour. Ta-da! See? Plants. So different little things. What we got growing? What's that? I don't know what that one is. How do I know? Oh, it's on the other side of it, that's right. Silver beet. Beautiful. And different things. Sylvia growing, and I don't know what that one is. Cornflower? That's interesting. Yeah, fun. So a bit of those things there. Some beans, and some other things, and some beans. Good fun. Different things that are growing there, so we'll work it all out. All part of the fun. Welcome to our little tour of the house. Or this little side area at least. Lovely. Alright, some water, and then let's do some extra stretching. Okay, wonderful. I'll just pop that out of the room. Right. So, we can do it in a seated position. We definitely don't have to do this standing. And the big thing is just some serious shoulder rolls. Just get the shoulders moving forward and backwards. Just take your time. It feels quite nice just to get a good amount of shoulder rolls. Just loosen it all up. There's no right thing to do with your head position. Sometimes I like to drop it down. Sometimes I like to look up. Just take your time. Just nice and easy with shoulder rolls. Everything feels quite nice, and then you can just do some fast little ones. Little slow ones. Sometimes I even like just dropping the chin right down, just lift it up and dropping down, really drop it down nice and low. Lift up and just drop it down as low as you can. Really feel like you're pulling your arms down. Another way you can do it is you grab onto the seat or the chair legs, and laterally, grab onto the chair legs, and then I just sit upright, and that just pulls my shoulder down. So it's a nice pull sensation of my shoulder. If I want to increase that, I can just move lightly side to side. So I can anchor it in my arms so I can get a bit more of a trap stretch. And then if I really want to just very, very slowly, lightly move it side to side. You can just see a great way of giving a little bit of stretch to your traps and a bit of loving care for your neck. Oh, everything appreciates it. So happy doing its thing. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Awesome. Good. And what you can do there with your arms, just nice, good shoulder rotations backwards. So you can see, I'll squeeze up here, so I've got a bit more room. Just good rotations, moving your arm back and around. Good, you might want to have a little bit of rotation, so as I do this, so I'm not stiff as a board. When I'm doing this, I'm moving with everything. Just letting it all flow. Nice and easy. Letting it flow. And over the top. Yeah. Yeah, if you've got a wall or a door frame or something, what I would suggest you can pop your hand up against it. So facing the wall, hand up against it, and you can just turn your body nice and slowly around, and you can get a good chest and a little bit of shoulder stretch there. Good. It's a little bit different doing this than it is about just sort of finding a spot and then walking away from the wall. That's what a lot of people do, is walk away from the wall. You actually just sort of find your spot and just rotate on the spot with your feet. I'm just turning my feet around, and that's what actually opens everything up there. A lot of range of motion, right? The chest has got a lot of stretch into it. You just want to be able to stretch it up a little bit. So try the other side. Grab and hold, just walking my feet around. And that allows me to get a really nice chest stretch in here. By having my palm flat against the wall, I get a really good forearm stretch. Everyone's a little bit different. Some people need to not have their hand perfectly flat. Some people just open up through here. You'll still get a chest stretch, but this just ensures that we get some good forearm stretching as well. Ooh, lovely stuff. Good, 3, 2, 1. Pull it back. Excellent. Good. Just shake that out. You may just notice you can get a little bit tired and sore through these muscle groups, up through forearms and brachioradialis or bicep and tricep. So we just give it a good stretch up there. Good. You can do a bit of a tricep stretch, which is pulling up over the top of your head and giving that a light pull down. Now the key is not to actually have your arm flop off to the side. You actually don't want to be pulling it laterally. You want to actually try to just pull it back behind you. The way to do that is just by cupping the elbow and pulling the elbow up and over. And you just do it nice and lightly. Stretching is not about yanking on something. So if I'm going to stretch my forearms, so this would be very neutral. That is me just casually opening up to its position it feels comfortable with. Just applying light little resistance to find that stretch. And then over time I can get a little bit more. But just always slowly, lightly build on it. You don't grab and try to crank it through and feel the intensity, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 10 in intensity, and then try to hold that for 5 seconds and think that that's okay. That's not what stretching's about. You find something good, you're like, okay, hey, that feels just a little bit tight. I'll work on my breathing. Let's see if I can pull that back a little bit further. Now take my time, and my triceps are a little bit tight. My left one's generally a bit tighter than my right. So we're going to see if we can get this nice and vertical. So from my shoulder to my elbow, we're going to slowly, just see if we can get that a little bit more vertical. And you can see my hand really wants to jam over to the side, where it actually needs to be somewhere there. Right, so when I look at you there, I'm just using my head as an anchor point. Good, you can just see how much that's off. This needs to be somewhere back here. And so I just need to slowly work on stretching it. So I've already got a little bit more range of motion. You probably notice that that's come forward a bit more. And there's all this little stuff there. So for me to get this in the right position, I probably need to spend another 2-3 minutes. And just using my hands to just crank on that to get a little bit more movement and then play with it. It takes time. Stretching is not something that you just go allocate 10 seconds for and get it done. It takes a little bit of time. Stay persistent with it, which is really good. Lovely. Now we've done heaps of the tabletop stretching, which is really good for our lats. But what you don't have to do is you don't have to always go overhand position. You can go underarm position. And that can feel a little bit different. Wiggle your hips around. The really important part here is I'm grabbing underneath to actually do this. So that can be a little bit different depending on how everyone's shoulders feeling. Good. And just wiggle your hips around now. I don't know how much you can see of that there. I'm just giving my hips a bit of a wiggle around through that position. So that can feel quite nice. Lovely. Oh yeah, so that's feeling a little bit different for our lats. Good. I generally like a little bit of torso rotation. So that is just casually, you can see I'm just letting my legs flow, rotate myself side to side. Sometimes it's nice just to look your hand. It's kind of a little bit of torso rotation. So this all can feel nice, just twisting, pelvis to spine, get some good rotation. So what we refer to as dynamic stretching versus static. So static is when we hold something, like I was doing with that tricep one before. This is referred to as dynamic. Dynamic being with movement. So nice subtle stretching with movement. Good, a nice banana stretch. So if I rotate to the side, I have my hand and I just slowly work pulling it over my body here. Just giving a good stretch through my obliques. Showing it the other side. Just nice and easy, giving that a little bit of a pull over. I can tell my back's a little bit tight. One side is a bit tighter than the other. This side here is just moving a little bit better. The other side just needs a little bit more care and love. Good, just nice and easy. Good to stretch everything up. 2, 1. Excellent. Good. Doing real good here, team. We can do a little bit of a forearm stretch. So, like I was saying there, you can just go straight arm, get a couple of fingers and lightly pull up on those fingers. So that's one way of doing it. Some people like the different praying positions. So hands up nice and high. As you bring your hands down a bit lower, you get into a prayer position. So you can get a little bit of a stretch. You can take it from different angles, which is really cool. You can come from even underneath. All I'm trying to do is keep my hands nice and flat together. So slowly bring it down. That increases the angle. Eventually my palms will get a bit away from each other. That means the stretch is not going to be as efficient anymore. Bring it back to when it's nice and flat. And then just slowly work on bringing it down. Nice little fun way to be able to work with the forearms. You can also do that the opposite, so you can really cup and drive into the opposite position there. You get a little bit of a little bit of elbow mobility on either side here. Just testing that out, seeing what that feels like. Sometimes even a bit of light massaging up through your fingertips can feel quite nice, just to loosen up some things through there. Nice, good. Then we've got hip rotation, so rotate ourselves around, find some tight points. You may find some stuff that's a bit sticky, so you might go, okay, I'm a little bit sticky here, so I'm just going to spend a bit of time at it. Good. Other points may feel absolutely fine. Great, you don't need to be holding that stretch or staying in that point for too long. Just set some good rotation through here. Now, we've done a lot of different stretching up on top of the chair there when we do our quads and hamstring, but there's so many different ways we can stretch our hamstring. We put one leg in front of the other, rotate our pelvis, and fall over the top. So everyone's a little bit different. You can see my position here. I'm just really falling over the top of this right leg, really emphasizing that my body weight is over the top here. Straight leg here, so I'm really getting a good hamstring stretch through here. So many different ways that we can play this. I personally like the forward flop, which is straightening out the legs and just letting the top half of the body chill out. Provided you don't feel lightheaded when your head's below your heart, I'm okay with the stretch. There's so many different variations. You could also do that stretch in a sitting position. Very much the same thing there, right? You may find that you just want to use a back rest as an example. As a back rest as an example, and you might want to just slowly come forward from that point there and just see where you're coming from there. So just give me some different stretching through those muscle groups. Now when it comes to your calf, we've got our normal standard stretch there. We're coming right to the end here. But what I like to actually see is people actually doing a little bit of massaging. So I can actually use my fingers and actually massage my calf area there. So just working underneath and actually giving that a good little rub down. If you're really keen on doing a bit more of it, you actually get a little bit of oil and put a bit of oil on your fingers and actually just give that a really good massage. Obviously, don't do that and then go out, outside and start shopping. Otherwise, probably all the dogs and maybe cats will be chasing around you trying to lick your legs. But just give it a good little rub down. You'll find some points. I find sometimes just along the side can get a little bit sore. Using my palm, I can give that a nice little light massage even underneath. All this stuff really does help just release up some tight tension. Good. Let's do it on the other side there. I'm hoping everyone enjoyed this. A little bit of a different type of session. Instead of doing our other stretches as a cool down, I just wanted to extend this and just make sure we tackled a couple of these other muscle groups that sometimes probably don't get enough maybe attention, especially in our warm up and cool down there. We tend to have our steps sort of once it just gets over everything, but it's nice just to get some extra mobility, shaking it all out. Oh, that feels nice. Good, working the thumbs down through the calves. Good. And there's things where we talk about stripping, so you use your fingers there and you just give it a good pull underneath. And you can feel it can feel really quite nice. It's very tight and stiff, it'll be quite uncomfortable initially, but it can feel quite nice just working a bit onto it there. If you want to do it with your feet on the floor, you just have your foot really far out in front, lean forward, and you can do that same process again there. Good to just stretch out back up. Team, wonderful work, something a little bit different for you. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.